Shalom, y'all. Resistance is Spellbreaker here. Before I come on here and talk, I want to let you know that I support and appreciate anyone who's served in the military. I appreciate anybody who's lost a loved one. This isn't at all a video where I'm coming on, dissing the soldiers. Henry Kissinger came out and said, soldiers are dumb animals. Now, why would he say such a thing? Well, you see, war doesn't take place for the reasons that you and I are presented with, okay? Your mind control box, your television tells you that the war takes place because of this reason or that reason. But in all reality, it actually takes place for a very different reason. This is the reason why Bill Cooper, author of Behold a Pale Horse, which I recommend that you read, he knew that 9/11 was going to take place 2 months before it actually took place, okay? Everything was done to go over there and to steal the oil. It was also done to destroy the Twin Towers because of all the ill trading that had been going on. A lot of documents were burnt up. There's a lot of things hid in the fires. You see what I'm saying? So that's just an example, of something that's happened in my time. But wars have never really taken place for the reasons that have been presented to us. Some people refer to World War II as the Holocaust, okay? And there's a lot of reasons. We're not going to go that way. There's a lot of evidence of that, and with every war. So what basically happens is you have a problem. The problem is poor people take things from the government. So the governments have always been in cahoots with one another through secret societies, and then now with the United Nations. But they don't come out and tell us about this, okay? So you got all these poor people over here, you got all these poor people over here. War is big business. War boosts economy. So there's a lot of money to be made in war. And also what it is that if you have a large population of poor people, they're going to want food stamps. They're going to want Social Security income. They're going to be mooching off of the government. It's kind of like if you ever have lived on a farm. Okay, you got a chicken that doesn't lay eggs anymore. Well, you eat it, or you kill it, or you don't let it back in the pen and you let the wolves get it, because you're not going to feed something that's not producing for you. And that's the way that these people look at us. They look at us like cattle. So how do we get rid of some of these poor people? Because we look at a chart and we can say, okay, look, this is how many poor people we have now, and these are how many children they have. So in 40 years, we're going to be paying out way more food stamps. So how is it that we can avoid that? Well, we're going to have a war. We're going to tell them that this country's doing that. In that country, we're going to tell them that this country's doing that. And next thing you know, we're going to send our poor people over to your country, and your poor people are going to fight our poor people, and we're going to kill as many of our poor people off as we possibly can. And then that way, in 20 years and 30 years, we're not paying out, all this money that we would have to pay out now. So they have to depopulate, and they can't just come out and knock on your door and shoot you because the people would uprise. So wars are a way to depopulate, to thin out the herd, and to get rid of the less desirable part of the population, which is the poor people. And it's also done because it boosts economy, it boosts business, and it does things. It's a numbers game for these people. These people are basically sick psychopaths, and they're in cahoots with one another. So they dangle a story in front of you, and then, you send your children off to war to die, and you think that it was for your country, but it wasn't. It all had to do with money, and it all had to do with power, and it all had to do with, control. I mean, if you live past 62 years of age, you're a nuisance, and they have other ways of doing this. Drugs is another way that they try to kill poor people. Here in the United States, methamphetamine for the white people, crack cocaine for the black poor people. So middle class and poor people are subject to having their children be on drugs. When you go to the richer places, it's not as prevalent. I'm not saying it says it doesn't exist, but drugs are a conspiracy against the poor and middle class people. So, with a combination of drugs, combination of war, combination of poison in the food and water, you know what I'm saying? And then with the medications that kill people as well, you know, they don't want people to live long after 62 years of age. And if they can eliminate them, you know, through a war type setting, that's even better for them. So that's the reason, that's the real reason that we have wars. I'm not saying that no war ever occurred without them being the ones behind it. But I am saying that 99.9% of the time, there would be world peace if we didn't have these 6 psychopaths in power. I pray that I've brought some truth to you and some understanding to you. Have a blessed day. Shalom. Find Torah. Find Jesus.